Today, we're going to rank every Rolex Daytona in the current production lineup. We're going to find out which models are valued the highest and which models are valued the lowest in the market right now in 2024. Once we can see the watches ranked on the board, we'll break down some of the trends to give you guys insight into why any particular model is valued where it is in the market. The Daytona comes in lots of different configurations. They range from steel watches all the way to full precious metal pieces with gem set bezels and special dials like mother of pearl. There are even a number of off-catalog pieces that have diamond dials and rainbow sapphire bezels that you'll sometimes see us buying or selling in our other videos. All of the prices in this video are based on the UK market for 2024 full set examples that are for sale from professional dealers. The prices were recorded on a single day in September 2024, so you should consider them a snapshot of the market, which is of course subject to change. For some of these watches, there are very few examples available in the market. The difference between the lowest and the highest price examples can be relatively large. This is in contrast to some watches where there are hundreds of examples for sale, and the price spread tends to be lower because sellers need to be more competitive with their pricing. First, let's take a look at the D tier. These watches sell for between £0 and £2,500 above RRP. First is the yellow gold with the white dial. Then we have the rose gold with the sundust dial. We have the white gold with the steel dial. We have the rose gold with the black dial. We have two-tone with champagne, and then two-tone steel and gold with the white dial. So the first thing to note is that these watches are still selling around the Rolex retail price or slightly above, even though they're in the lowest tier on our board. This is a testament to the popularity of the Daytona model relative to the entire Rolex catalogue. We can see full precious metal alongside some two-tone pieces with some of the less popular dials according to market demand. The watch with the lowest market price in this tier is the steel and gold with the champagne dial, reference 126503. It retails for £17,800 and has a market price of £19,450, so the spread between retail and market price is £1,650. The yellow gold with the white dial has the smallest market premium of just £900, which is relatively small considering its retail price of £36,100. Okay, moving on to the C tier. These watches sell for between £2,500 and £5,000 above RRP. Okay, so into the C tier. The first watch is the yellow gold with the black diamond dial. This is followed by the rose gold Oyster Flex with the black diamond dial. We have the white gold with the black diamond dial, again followed by the rose gold with the black dial, yellow gold with a black dial and golden counter rings, then the opposite, the full yellow gold with a gold dial and black counter rings, followed by a full white gold with a black dial. We then have a rose gold with a black diamond dial, coming in with some two-tone with the black dial. And then we have a yellow gold with another black dial. This time it has the full gold subdials. And then finally the two-tone black diamond dial. Again, we're looking at full gold watches alongside two-tone, but this time with the addition of a few Oyster Flex pieces. These are some of the more popular dial options for the full gold and two-tone, but the less popular options for Oyster Flex. This is of course just market opinion, and I'm sure some of you guys out there will prefer the D tier watches over the C tier. The highest market price is for the rose gold 126505 with the black diamond dial, coming in at £43,750. That's a £3,350 difference between the retail and market price for that watch. The largest premium was actually for the steel and gold with the black diamond dial. The RRP is £19,500, whereas the market price is around £23,950. I was quite surprised by this one because while diamond dials do cost more at retail, that isn't always reflected in the market price. It's not a watch that we see very often at Watchtrader, so I would say that the supply to the market is quite low. The Oyster Flex rose gold with the black dial and sundust subdials seems to be in less demand than the sundust dial with the black subdials. Same watch, different dial, different market price. And if you prefer the black, you can save some money. Again, with some of these watches, there may only be a handful available to buy on any given day, so the prices can fluctuate. I wouldn't be surprised if some configurations that are quite close in popularity would change tiers if we rank them again in the near future. Before we move on to the B tier, if you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you could give it a like and consider subscribing. These watches sell for between £5,000 and £10,000 above RRP. First in the B tier is the Oyster Flex White Gold with the black dial. This is followed by the black diamond dial version. We then have a yellow gold with the white dial. We have a rose gold with the Sundust dial. This is followed by the yellow gold black diamond dial. Then we have another yellow gold, this time with the intense black dial and champagne subdials. We then have the black dial with the golden counter rings. We have a white gold, ghost. And then we have a yellow gold with a golden dial and black counter rings. Okay, so most of the Oyster Flex models sit in the B tier. These watches have a lower retail price than their full precious metal bracelet counterparts, but they command larger market premiums. This would indicate a market preference for a more casual way to wear a gold watch. The ceramic bezel and rubber strap tones down the watch, but the weight and prestige of an Oyster Flex Daytona lets the wearer know that they have something special on their wrist. I personally think Rolex has knocked it out of the park with these watches. The difference between the retail price of the yellow gold with the black dial and gold counter rings at $27,900 and the market value at around $34,500 is £6,600. This premium is a reflection of the market demand. The white gold ghost is quite an exceptional watch in that it commands a significant market premium of around 23%. Usually, white gold is the least popular precious metal among many of the other Rolex models, but the ghost continues to buck the trend. I think you just have to look at the watch to understand why that might be. Moving on to the A tier watches, these watches sell for between £10,000 and £20,000 above the RRP. First in the A tier is the steel black dial Daytona. Then we have the full yellow gold with the gold dial and the black subdials. This is followed by the Oyster Flex version of the same watch. This one's known as the Pikachu. We then have the white dial steel Daytona, the Panda, and this is followed by the platinum with the ice blue dial. This is a really interesting mix of Daytona configurations. We've got steel, full gold, Oyster Flex, and platinum all in one tier, so let's break this down. First thing to note is that the Pikachu dial, which is officially known as golden and bright black, is present on both gold and Oyster Flex straps. The Oyster Flex actually commands a larger premium of £12,050, whereas the full gold is slightly lower at £11,550. Just look at the difference the dial makes to market value. The white dial, yellow gold 126508, was just £37,000 compared to the same watch but with a Pikachu dial at £47,650. The market values the dial at over £10,000. Let me know in the comments if you think that is crazy or if you agree that the Pikachu dial is worth the money. We finally see the steel Daytona with the black and white dials. The white is around £2,000 more than the black, coming in at £26,450, while the retail price is about half of that at £13,200. The platinum version with the chestnut brown bezel and ice blue dial lands itself in the A tier with a retail price of £66,800, while the market price is around £86,000. The A tier represents some of the most aspirational and iconic Daytona models in the current Rolex lineup. Stay tuned until the end when I'll reveal the 5 key takeaways from this Daytona market analysis. Finally, moving into the S tier, these watches sell for more than £20,000 above RRP. The first watch in the S tier is none other than the platinum with the baguette diamond dial. We then have a white gold with a very special mother of pearl dial and RBR diamond bezel. This is followed by a full yellow gold watch with a TBR cut diamond bezel and baguette diamond dial. We've got diamonds in the lugs and in the crown guards. This is followed by an oyster flex version of the white gold Daytona with the mother of pearl dial and RBR bezel. We then have an oyster flex white gold TBR bezel with the baguette diamond dial. The same again, but this time with a sundust dial, and it's in rose gold. We then have the yellow gold version with a golden dial and black counter rings. Finally, we have the full rose gold with a sundust dial, TBR bezel, baguette diamond dial, and diamonds in the shoulders and crown guard. These watches are all rare, some of them ultra rare. In fact, most of the watches in the S tier are very difficult to value in the market, as there are close to 0 examples available. I want to make it clear that not all of them are known to be in circulation at the time we're filming this, but we have enough information to draw some insights. First up is the baguette diamond dial platinum reference 126506. This costs £72,200 at retail, but sells for around £93,950. The difference of £21,750 places it in the S tier, just edging it over the plain dial version. We have some sky-high prices for the full gold TBR diamond bezel models, with the accompanying diamond set lugs and crown guards. The rose gold model comes in at £112,300. I'm not going to state any exact market prices, but based on the few that we have seen in the trade, the market price could be in excess of 50% on top of retail. I would expect that over time, as more supply hits the market, the price could settle similar to how the Meteorite Daytonas did in the previous generation models. We also see a pair of stunning, contrasting mother of pearl dials with round cut RBR diamond bezels in white gold cases. These are actually significantly less expensive than the TBR bezel versions. The Oyster Flex retails at £56,050, while the gold bracelet model is £63,850. So there is a huge price increase that Rolex is charging for TBR diamonds, which are cut in a trapezium shape, over the round cut that you find in the mother of pearl dial models. Another thing to note is that the Oyster Flex dials are distinctly different to the full metal bracelet models. Okay, here are 5 key takeaways from this Daytona market analysis. Firstly, the way the market values a watch and the retail price are not always a reflection of each other, as we can see with the steel Daytona. The next thing is that buyers tend to value steel models higher than steel and gold. If you're buying pre-owned, steel and gold offers relatively good value. The third thing is that Oyster Flex commands a bigger premium than full precious metal bracelets, and we can see this by comparing the B tier with the C and D tier. Rolex knows that people want to buy steel models and makes by far the smallest number of variations with only 2 dials. The number of precious metal options would suggest that Rolex wants to encourage customers to spend more on higher retail price watches containing precious metal. This is probably because there are higher profit margins to be made. Remember that this tier list is based purely on market value, and that comes from supply and demand. It's unlikely that any one person would agree with where every one of these watches rank. An A-tier watch is not objectively better than a C-tier watch. It really comes down to personal opinion if you're buying a watch to wear and enjoy. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, check out some of the links on the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.